Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Alrighty, so today I wanted to do a look back on 2025. I just wanted to take a look back and see which plants I got, where they're at, because if you don't know, if you're not new here, I moved, and so all of my plants kind of got a jolt, and I got rid of several of them, like 30 plus plants, which I know doesn't seem like a lot, but it was a lot to me. And yeah, I would just be curious myself to see what I brought in 2024. Wow, if I said 2025 at the beginning, we're looking at plants that I purchased in 2024, not 2025. But anyways, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be going through my previous videos, seeing which plants I did hauls on. And actually, I have a cat. But I have haul videos that I have done where I've showed you my new plants that I brought home, and I have more of them than I was anticipating. Like, I really thought there would be probably 3 videos, but if I'm looking correctly, I've got like 7 videos. So we have several plants that I obviously brought home, and not all of the plants I brought home in 2024 are going to be on my videos, but I just wanted to go through these ones and see what's left, because spoiler, there are some that are not left. If you are new here though, this is a channel where I talk about my houseplants and do DIYs. So if that does interest you, make sure to subscribe to my channel. That way you can be up to date on all of my latest videos. Okay, let's get into it. So I know I posted this video a year ago, almost exactly. It was my first video of the new year, and I was super excited about it because it was a rare houseplant unboxing from the Hidden Seed Plant Co. And so I won't be sharing the whole video here, but I will show the link, or put the link here and show parts of it. And show parts because some of them may look very different, like this one, for instance. So I purchased this plant, and if there's children in the background, sorry. But I purchased this plant as a, what do you call it? Like a not pretty plant. Like basically they were discounting several rare or uncommon plants because they didn't look the best. And so I jumped on that because one of the plants that they had available was a plant that I always wanted, and it was the Monstera aurea. And so if you know Monsteras, they're always such a hype and everybody loves them because they are a pretty simple to eat or easy to care for houseplant. But I'm not into the albos. I have talked about this several times on my channel. Albos are too picky to me. Like, it's too much work. And so I do have a Thai constellation. That is also work. But I always love the green and yellow variegations. And so the Aurea Monstera was one plant that I really wanted. And so I purchased it. I purchased it for, I think, $125 all in, and I believe that was with shipping. And so I'm going to post the video or clips of it of what I first, like when I first got it, unboxed it. Ta-da! Oh my gosh. So this is a Monstera aurea, and again, it's an imperfect one. So you can see here, this leaf is taken out. Got a child. This leaf has some, spots on it. And then this leaf up here also is like a chunk missing. Clearly here, it's a Monstera aurea. Okay, so there you can see, like, it wasn't perfect, but it was perfect enough for me to purchase it. And so I still have that plant. I still have it. I still love it. I think that it's beautiful. But a couple months after that video, and my whole goal with that plant was to chop it, I did. And so I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cuttings of it and 4 separate plants from that one plant. I do still have the mother plant, and it is sitting on top of my shelving unit right here, and I'll show a video of that. It actually took the longest to grow back, which I was kind of surprised because it is the most established and it had a root system. But my propagations, they all took off, they all did well, and they are all producing new foliage. That did take a very long time, honestly. It was probably up there with one of my hardest plants to propagate, or just the one of the plants that takes the longest. Like, there are several of my plants that are quick on propagation and rooting. This was just not one of them. So I did propagate it 3 different methods. I propagated it in water and perlite and sphagnum moss. The ones in sphagnum moss took the longest. The ones in perlite were what rooted the best. And so eventually I actually took my cuttings out of water because they were not rooting at all. I do use filtered water, and I put it in the perlite and they started to root. So all of those, all of those propagations are doing really well today, and they are producing a really nice variegation. And so again, I'll post some of those videos of what they look like now, but they're doing really well. And I'm very happy with that plant, and I probably couldn't have gotten it for cheaper, honestly, because I know that they are still a costly plant to own. So very satisfied with my purchase on that one. Now, the next one, which I was laughing about because I totally forgot about this. Green Acres, if you've never been, I am in the Dallas area. And so Irving has one, and so does McKinney. I don't really know. But Green Acres is an awesome houseplant just general gardening store. And so they every year they do I think it's 2 like houseplant extraordinary events or whatnot, and they just bring in all of these new and rare and uncommon, like awesome houseplants, and common ones too. And they do like a big giveaway and event, and they're actually doing one in February, I think. And so that's when this video was from, I believe is when it was from. February. Unfortunately, my videos don't tell me when I posted that. Is that crazy? Oh, January 14th. So it must be in January. Okay, never mind. Okay, so anyways, I went, and I was the first time that I had gone to their like plant extraordinaire, and they had, I mean, a ton of uncommon houseplants. So I'll put my video here and show you some of them. But Monstera albos, I mean, huge Monstera aureas, they had Thai constellations, they had anthuriums, and they had, I don't even know what, they had so much. They had a variegated Billietiae, and they had, I don't know, Jose Bonos, everything that you see online and are really, hyped up plants, rare plants, they had there. And so I did end up walking away with a few plants, and I honestly can't really remember which ones. So let me fast forward and figure out which ones they were. Okay, so the first one was the Anthurium kingveitchii. Anthurium kingveitchii. That is what I purchased. And yes, I still do have that plant. It does not look so good. It was one of those plants that did not make the move well. It was doing very well in my home. I kept it in a southwest facing window, 6 feet back. I did not run a humidifier. I did not give it filtered water. I just let it be, and it was thriving. However, since moving, it has gotten really neglected, and it does sit still under my Barina Grow lights. And so I don't think it likes that high light, actually, which is funny because my Barina Grow lights are not the highest wattage lights. They're 5 watts, but I can tell a significant difference between a plant that has been under them and does not like them to a happy, thriving plant. And it is not a happy, thriving plant. And so I do need to look at that one in this year and see where to put it, what to do with it, because I do love that plant. It's a fascinating, really interesting leaf, and a really cool, easy anthurium. So I'd say that it's definitely one of my top like beginner-friendly anthuriums, and I do still have it. Let's see what the next plant is. Okay, the next one was actually the most excited about, and this is like a top plant, and I actually might have to go get it because I am amazed, okay? And this is another easy to care for anthurium that goes on the top of my list. Look at this. This is my Anthurium pallidiflorum, and I purchased this at that event, and it is an awesome plant. I mean, seriously, look at these strappy leaves. They're velvety, they're really long and beautiful. This is the newest leaf, which I didn't even realize that it was putting out a new leaf. I am losing a leaf right here, but that's okay because look at all of this. Now this does sit in my greenhouse shelving unit, Does not get humidity or anything like that. I don't water it with filtered water. I kind of just let it be, and it has grown a lot. I mean, seriously, looking at this video and then looking at this, I am shocked at how well and how much it has grown. But it has been like one of my favorite plants to watch grow, just because of the beautiful length of their leaves, and they're just stunning, velvety, shimmery, shiny. I always feel like I share this one on my Instagram, but I'm very impressed with myself for keeping this alive, because I did not know how well it would do. Actually, I think I only at this time owned maybe I think I owned a queen, and I think I owned a clarinevrum, anthurium. But those were the two like next plants that I purchased, or anthuriums that I purchased. And this has been a very easy to grow, easy to care for plant. Again, it does sit in my Barina, or under my Barina grow lights, in a greenhouse cabinet, but I water it once the soil is completely dry, and it has not seemed to mind that at all. But definitely one of my top plants by far in my collection. I also should clarify why I got that. It was $30, and I had no idea the plant. I just liked the look of the leaves, and I really wanted a Philodendron Patriciae, but I couldn't find one of those, and they were just very uncommon plant. And so I kind of settled for this one, actually, because it looked very similar. Just velvet version, I guess, but the same strappy leaves, the same, it'll climb, all of the, I feel like the consistent, philodendron and anthurium are pretty consistent together, but it just had so many similarities that I was like, I'll try this one. And it was $30 versus the Patriciaes were, what I was seeing online were like upwards of $200. And so I figured this was a safer bet, and it was. Oh, the next one. Yeah, well, I still do have this plant. Okay. The next one that I got was a Philodendron Splendid. So I really, really, really love the Philodendron Melanochrysum. I wanted one forever, and I think that they are beautiful, along with my children's voices. But it's impossible for me to keep. I just cannot keep it in a juvenile form. I have tried it 3 times, I think it is. And every time it gets spider mites, dies, just some sort of pest takes it out. And I am just unsuccessful at it. But I believe the Splendid is a Verrucosa Melanochrysum mix. I couldn't tell you. I know it's a Melanochrysum with something else. And people said that if you like the Melanochrysum and the leaves and the velvet, try that, because it's an easier to grow plant. And so I did. I picked one up. It was $14.95. I figured, shoot, we'll just do it. No, that plant has not grown at all whatsoever. I have tried it in about every single location, and I cannot figure out its growth needs or pattern. It's kind of like the Melanochrysum a lot, actually. I don't know what to say about that one, but I do have it. I will show a video of it. I don't know. I don't really care for the plant. I really did try with it, and that's about all I can say for that one. Oh, I'm sorry. It was $13.50. Oh, okay. Sorry. I got a lot of plants from this. Okay, wow. So the next plant that I got was my variegated Philodendron Burle Marx, and I still have that sucker. Like, that's one of my top plants, and I love it. Burle Marx variegated, you've probably heard me talk about it a lot on my channel, because it is one of my top variegated plants. It is so funky, it's so easy, and it's so beautiful. Again, it's that Aurea pattern, that green and yellow and all of those shades. It's not white, and I love it. This guy is crazy how they grow, and it's so fascinating to me. And I actually loved it so much that, spoiler, I'll put in a plant, I got the unvariegated version this past year as well. And so love that plant. Love it. I don't know what else to say about it. It's definitely a top plant of mine, and it sits right here under a Sansi grow light, and it grows so funky and odd. It definitely needs a moss pole. Definitely probably needs a chop back. I have chopped it back once I purchased it, and I've propagated it several times. I will say that they are a bit tricky to propagate. I haven't found the best method, I don't think, at all for that guy. Perlite was the only thing that I could get it to root in, but water and sphagnum moss did absolutely nothing. So if you have your tips, tricks on propagating that guy, leave them down below, because it is a beautiful plant and I would like to create more of it. Not that I don't have two of them already, but one is massive, one is smaller. Okay, so that was it. So those were the plants, and I can't even list them. The King Beechii, the Anthurium pallidiflorum, the Philodendron splendid, and the variegated burley marks. So those were the 4 plants that I purchased from the Extraordinary Houseplant event in Green Acres. So if you have a chance to go to one of those, I know that they're on the coast as well. That's where they came from and originated. And so it's a really awesome plant store. Again, they have so many rare and unique plants, and that's kind of a consistent for them. It's just super far for me right now, but it is a really awesome houseplant store to go visit. What is next? Okay, so we're going to skip one of the videos because I don't know if I actually got anything. But the next video I have is Canton Trade Days. So if you're new here, Canton is a huge flea market basically in Canton, Texas. And it has basically everything that you don't need but you really want, as far as like antiques and random unique finds. But they also have a really awesome booth, Tipsy Gardner, or she does. And so I always go almost every month and visit Canton and their trade days and visit her, because she's always got really great plants and she brings in some super unique ones. Like I was trying to think of, I got my, my Philodendron Ploumani from her. I unfortunately don't have that one. That was in like 2023, but that one did die. But I did love that plant. I don't know. I've gotten so many of my plants from her, but I obviously got more plants from her in this video. So let's see which ones. Okay. So I actually got, this is a plant that I got for a friend actually. So it was a Pothos Pearl and Jade. I think that she still has it actually, because I'm pretty sure she sent me a picture of it, which those are always such an easy plant to take care of if you find a pothos in joy. I know that in the past years they have been harder to come by. I got one from a plant store and it was actually really expensive. But I have seen them, several of them at Lowe's and Home Depot. Pearls and Jade, Enjoy, same thing, different, but same thing. They're a beautiful white variegation. So if you are into that elbow look, that's a great one to add to your collection that will not just revert or die off. And it's a very easy to care for plant. And I think that was actually all that I got from her, which I'm shocked. Okay. So it was just one and it was for a friend. So I didn't bring that one home. Next one was a grocery store haul, and I kind of vividly remember this, and I think this is where I got my, okay, so I had to check. So I actually went to the grocery store in May after Mother's Day, and I just posted a actual like recap video of this, but I purchased 2 orchids, and then I purchased, which I didn't show in this video, I showed it in another video. And then I purchased 2 Hoya splashes, so Hoya Carrii splashes, and they were like $10 a piece, and they were full pots of them. So typically, if you've seen these plants, they can be found in full pots, but they are single leaf cuttings that will never grow anything more than that, and they're expensive. They're like $10 a pop. But I found these big full pots, and so I decided to take them out and propagate them, and come to find out, a lot of them in there were plugs, and they were just one leaf wonders is what I call them, and weren't going to grow any more than that. But I did have one, and I will show a video of it. I did have one of those surprise me, and it took off and it started to grow. And so that was really awesome. But I actually still have that plant. I still have all those little propagations. I did sell a few of them and gave one to my sister. So I couldn't tell you if that one's still alive or not. But it is a fun, unique find in a grocery store, I feel like, especially, again, the splashes. I have seen them, a good, like, variegated one, in store for $50 in a pot of that size. So it is an expensive plant if you're just looking for it in a normal houseplant store, and again, an uncommon one to find, but I still do have those, so that's exciting. And I would love for it to bloom. It sits in my greenhouse shelving unit in under the Brina grow lights, and it does really well. I water them once they're completely dry, and that's about it. I should clarify, I got two. I found two of the splashes. I was actually going for a Florida Ghost, I think is what I was looking for. And I did find them. However, it was like a really sad looking ghost. And I actually know that I had a ghost. Did I have a ghost already? I had a Florida Ghost, Philodendron Florida Ghost. It died. It was terrible, and I will never own one of those again. I'm not good at the Floridas. I have a Florida Beauty cutting, and it's really difficult to propagate and to keep alive. It's not rooting really well at all. So if you have any tips, I did get that last year, and we're about to come up on it, but any tips would be great on that. Okay, we're back with another houseplant haul from Green Acres. Are we surprised? I kind of am, because I didn't realize that. But I do recall a few plants from this one, and one of which I'm really excited about, and I still have, I know, and that is my Queen Anthurium. So in 2023, I actually purchased a Queen Anthurium from Florida and brought it back with me on a plane and all of that, and I still have it. It's actually sitting right here, and I'm shocked that you can't see its leaf, but you can't. I still have it, and it's beautiful, but it is a one-leaf wonder, as we like to call them. And I don't know what to say about that one. It's sustained itself for 2 years, which is awesome, or a year and a half. There you go. But I don't know. I just can't seem to get it to like grow consistently. And so I wanted to try a smaller version, because they had those at the last Houseplant Extraordinaire event, and I saw them. And so I decided to go back and try it, and I still have it. And it's actually one of my favorite plants, and it's growing a lot better than my bigger one. And so this has been a trial. This leaf obviously doesn't look good, but these are the two leaves that it pushed out in my care. This is from me burning it. So this is why I say it has had a trial. Yeah, I got it too close to the grow light and burned it. But I keep it under a Sansi grow light, clip light, and it seems to be doing just fine. Again, it's growing a lot better than my big Anthurium, which I can show you a photo of that. If you've not been on this channel, I feel like I've shared it a lot too. But I let this dry out before I water it. I just keep it under my grow light. I have not repotted it in a year. It has been in the same pot, and it cost me $70 versus my big one cost me $190. So that definitely was one of the most costly plants that I've purchased. Do love it, and I think that it's a beautiful plant, but it's just very difficult, which, I mean, these are Anthuriums, and the Queens are notorious for being high humidity lovers, difficult on watering, difficult on light, because of what they are. And so I feel like I have kept this successfully alive, and I just hope it does more. It definitely has grown. I mean, it started with its leaves there, and then we're here now. And so that's super exciting. But it does remain one of my most beloved plants, I think, in my collection, next to my Pallidiflorum Anthurium. And then what else did I get? Oh, yes. Okay. So I picked up two plants, and this, looking back, it was just a bad decision. I picked up a snowdrift, and I picked up a marmalade philodendron. They were $20 for these like 1-inch pots, and I knew in my head that was a bad decision, because I will tell you, if you're going to purchase a plant and it's like an uncommon plant, which these were at the time, go for the big plants, go for the well-established plants, because getting those little propagations, in my experience, have just been so difficult to accumulate to anything. You kind of have to watch them and babysit them a lot and give them all of their needs, and I just did not have the time, so they immediately like fell off. They're just done. I wanted to keep them alive. I think that the marmalade is really pretty, but it just did not last. And again, I knew it was a bad decision paying $20 a piece for them. I did it anyways, and now I've learned my lesson. I just won't even go for those. So the next plants that I got was okay, so the next plant store that we visited, I forgot. We went to Plants and Planters, Plants and Planters, I think is what it's literally called in Richardson. And I got a Mandula pothos, which I still have that same pothos. I actually propagated it and have several propagations off of it. It's definitely a slow grower. Again, it's one of those, it's a mutated form, not typically a natural plant, and so it's very difficult to grow and it does not grow fast. I mean, within the last 2 months, I have finally seen it push out a new leaf, and I'm not exaggerating. And this is, it's 6 months ago. Okay, we're going to give a little break. It's not like it's been a year, but it is a really slow grower. Very fascinating plant, very pretty, easy to care for. I keep it under my Barina grow lights, shocking, and I water it once the soil is completely dry. And then the other plant that I have, or that I purchased, I still have indeed, and it's a Syngonium willendii, I think is how you say it. I don't know. You can, tell me below if I didn't pronounce it correctly. I still have it. I liked this plant several years ago before I purchased it. Syngonium are actually one of my favorite genuses. I think that they're very pretty, unique. They have different foliage types and like variegations and all of that good stuff, color. This one was, it drew me to it, I don't know, because of its silvery little patch. It looked like a, what do you call those? Like a reflector. There you go. Reflector, and it had velvet leaves. Actually, is a very easy to care for Syngonium. I've had Syngoniums in the past that are not easy to care for, and there are quite a few of them, unfortunately. But this is one of them that have been very easy to me to keep alive. But I found the game changer, I think, with Syngoniums. They like to have moisture at the top, just like Anthuriums do. So I actually put sphagnum moss all around the top, and I'll show a video over it. I put it all around the top, so it really holds in that moisture and it does not dry out as fast. And it's been doing really well, because before I just could not keep up on the watering, and I have repotted it. I potted it up and I just still couldn't keep up with it. And so it is a water guzzler. I will tell you that. And it does like to be well watered. So put some sphagnum moss around your Syngonium at the top, around just the aerial root areas and this, topsoil, and see if that helps you with your watering. Okay, here we go. I wondered when these were coming. So yes, okay. I have to prepare myself for this. I purchased 2 from the Plants and Planters. 2, I think they're varicosums. Let me just check. Hold on. Yep, varicosum. So I purchased 2 varicosums on sale because they had spider mites. Why would you do that? Why would you buy those? I did. I bought them because I loved varicosums. I thought that they were beautiful. I had an El Choco Red, which that was not shown in my video, but I did get that previously. I got both varicosum and El Choco Red last year in 2024. They're both dead. Like my original plants, they're both dead. They did not survive. I would love to try again on them, but they're a little bit like the Melanochrysum. Started getting pests, couldn't keep them. But I bought 2 more with pests, because why wouldn't you? And so I did try to salvage these and propagate them. I cut them back immediately and stuck them in water. And honestly, if you watched my previous video with my orchids, I pulled one of the propagations from this plant out of that perlite, and it had spider mites. Shocker. Is it shocking? No, it's not shocking. But yeah, they both died. I couldn't. Why would you even try? I couldn't salvage that. Like, that was just pointless. Good try, but no. I spent $24 on spider mite riddled plants, and I killed them. I mean, they killed them, but yeah, no, they are dead. They're dead. So, okay, that was it from that haul. And then my last haul of the year, which was my Florida haul, and I purchased several plants, actually, from a few different two different shops, okay, three different shops. But if you ever go to Cocoa Beach, there is Native Plant Shop, and they're awesome. They have a bunch of awesome plants and rare, uncommon, and that's actually where I purchased my original Queen Anthurium from. It was not for sale, mind you, but I wanted that plant and I wasn't going to import it myself, and she had worked on importing it and getting all of the roots formed, because usually they come bare root. And so I know I have a video on this, but when she said that, my husband thought they were from like bare root. I don't know. He thought they were from some other country, but no, it's just bare root. They're not rooted. However, she did an excellent job because I got it home and it was completely rooted and really well rooted, and it has stayed consistent in that. Like, it's a well rooted plant. It's just the foliage needs to pick it up. But I got my queen from her, and so I did go back and check it out, and I purchased, I think, a pot actually for my string of hearts. But I did go and check her shop out, and that's where I purchased my variegated Florida Beauty. That's what you call it, Florida Beauty. And so, again, they're not really well rooted, but that was 6 months ago. They were not rooted in her shop. It was just in a propagation vessel. And I, once again, said, can I have that? And she said yes. So I purchased that from her. Again, I have all of the propagations. Like, I chopped it up. They all are there, but they're just not there. And so I don't know what to say. Again, the Floridas, I've had the regular, like, unvariegated, the green, the Florida Green. I've had the Florida Ghost, and I've had the Florida Beauty. And all three of them are just very finicky, difficult plants for me to care for. So I don't know. Okay, but the one plant store that I was most excited to go to was Succulents Empire. If you've ever been on Instagram, I feel like they're all over, and they are the coolest, plant store that I have ever been to, that I have ever seen. I mean, I spent an hour in there. Like, I got there, I think, like 10 minutes before they closed, I'll be honest. But they were like, no, stay, like, look around. And I think I stayed there for an hour because they have so much and just everywhere, you just can't comprehend. And so there were so many things there that I was like, I want all of these items, want everything. But I did end up purchasing, I think, several plants from her. But I have all of them left. So first off, I did finally get my Philodendron Patriciae. She had two of them, and I was really excited. And I think they were like $60. Cool, because again, they ranged at like $200 in previous years, obviously. But I was super excited about that plant, and I still have it, and it's still really beautiful and big, and I'll show you it. But this is it. This is my Philodendron Patriciae. So now you can see them, like, comparative. Like, they're a bit different, but again, with those long, strappy leaves and how it's growing, it's an easy to care for plant. I have not had any issues with it so far. A lot of people will say that you need to get the watering right and that they like a lot of humidity, but I have not given it any of that. I just keep it above my or on my shelf with my Sansi lights. I've not given it any of that, and it's done really well. I couldn't even tell you. I feel like it was back here when I got it, and now it's pushed out, these 3 leaves, and it's got a new one on the way. No, actually, this was the newest leaf that it pushed out. Wow. She did have several other larger plants, but I couldn't take them on the plane. And so I just settled with the 2 smallest ones. And I'm glad I did, especially on epiprimnums or pothos. They're typically super easy to, get going. And I was glad that that was the case because these took off and they were doing very well. The next one that I purchased from her, I was really excited about as well. And I don't have any up here with me, but I do still have it, and that is the Scindapsus aurea. It's actually not a plant that I was expecting to like or look at. However, again, with that aurea variegation in the pretty greens and creams and yellows, it just really struck me, and so I did purchase that. I actually ended up chopping it all the way back and propagating it, so I have about 4 propagations of it, and I know I have several cuttings of it right here still. Right there. Still going and well rooted, super well rooted. The one thing with Scindapsus is they like a lot of light. So I do keep these under my Barina Grow lights, and I have never taken them out of that. They can stand to go, like, they are a little bit drought tolerant, but they are not like a pothos or a philodendron where they can take that a lot. They will start to shrivel and curl. And so you do have to watch your watering and make sure that you are up to speeds and keeping them consistently moist, because they will start to deteriorate and start to brown a lot. And then I think that was all that I purchased from her. My Aurea, my Patriciae, my Marble, and then the last one, again, I talked about this earlier in my video, I purchased my big unvariegated Burle Marx. So I loved my variegated Burle Marx so much that I purchased this unvariegated version of it for 20 bucks at an Ace Hardware. And so if you're in Florida, go to the Ace Hardwares, because they're awesome and they have rare plants, and especially the one in Cocoa Beach. I went twice or 2 years in a row now, and they always have super uncommon plants. A lot of like anthuriums and philodendron. So I was just pleasantly surprised the previous year when I went. And so this year I did go back, and I didn't find as much. Well, I found a lot, but nothing that I could take with me on a plane. And I had already purchased, several other plants. But I told myself the previous year, because this same plant, I'm convinced it was the same plant, was there last year, and I wanted it, but I'm like, well, I have to take all the soil off, and then I have to pack it up, and it's just not worth it. I went back, and it was in the same spot. That's why I'm convinced that it's the same plant, and it was like double the size. And so I purchased it, $20. I took all the soil off, I pulled it apart, and I packaged it up and put it in my suitcase. And guess what? It's still here today, and it did really well. It's just a super easygoing, awesome little house plant. It's such a bubbly, fun-leafed plant that I love looking at. And so, yeah, it's still here. Now, one plant that is not still here is the Philodendron Columbia, or Esmeraldens. Let me check here. Esmeraldens. Okay, so this Philodendron Esmeraldens did not last. It was just a very bizarre grower. It was a slicked leaf, but it just didn't like what I was giving it. And so actually about a month ago, it survived till a month ago, okay? A month ago, I stuck it outside, and I just said, whatever will be, will be. And it be dead because it did not make it in the cold. So yeah, that one died. I don't know. I gave it west-facing light, and I watered it consistently, and I tried to care well for it, but it was just not having it. It just started pushing out small leaves, like my Melanochrysum, like that had a pest or something going on with it. And so I just decided that it was not worth my time or effort, and I just sent it on its way. And so yeah, that one is a casualty of 2024. So those were it. That was, I mean, I know I can name you other plants that I purchased in 2024. Again, I just have 2 orchids that are still alive that I purchased in 2024 in May. And I feel like there was another plant I purchased. Oh yeah, several other plants that I purchased. Like I did go and get myself a marble pink princess. This was a grocery store find, and it's still alive and well. I did purchase another white knight. That was a mistake because it's the same state that my other white knight was in. Trash. Sorry. I don't like those. Would not recommend those. And then I know I got another plant, all of these. I know I got several other plants, but 2 of which that I still have, Epiprimnum giganteum variegated. I would say this is a really cool plant, and I love the leaves. However, the variegation, not good. I think it's a temperature-based variegation like your Jose Bonos are, because this is what the variegation started out as, and this is what it is. Green. And so it is a little bit of a bummer. These are all new leaves that it's pushed out in my care. they're all green. All the variegated leaves have died off, so this is the last one, and it's a bit disappointing. Probably wouldn't purchase it again, but it is a really cool plant, and I will keep it. And then I also got, which I'm not going to get down right now, I also got several peperomia, pileas. I mean, I got a lot of plants, I feel like, in 2024 that are not shown on camera, but I have done videos of them. You can see my variegated, or yeah, they're variegated, albo, whatever, pilea, money plants. I don't know what they're called, but they're still alive. I got a gold dust variegated pilea or peperomia. And then at the same time, I got a philodendron. What's it called? What are you called? I'll have to, hold on, let me get it down. This thing. What is this plant called? Oh, Burley Marks Fantasy Philodendron. And actually, it's done so awesome. This is a cool plant. And I purchased this from Peta's Planters in Dallas. And so same for my variegated gold dust. But it got a pest. So you can see here, these were leaves that it pushed out in my care. It actually came with, I think, 3 leaves. Pushed out all of these in my care. But then we moved, and I think it's stressed out because these are the leaves that are coming out now, and or a pest got to it, because this is typical. Like it looks like it got spider mites is honestly what happened. It has those yellow dots on the back that are just usual with spider mites, and this is damage from me, but it wasn't unfurling as fast. But this was another 2024 purchase, and I am satisfied with this purchase. It's a really cool plant and super big. Like, look at those leaves. Look how beautiful. I mean, this was the leaf when I first got it. I mean, look how gorgeous that was. But really fun plant that I purchased and needs to be watered like immediately. So I'll put you there. But yeah, those were my 2024 plant updates. Where are they now? So I did lose a few, but I feel like I have kept more of them than lost. So I think it was a good year. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have any tips or tricks, especially on the propagations that I've got going on, be sure to subscribe, and we will see you next time.